Well, here we are, Disney Pixar fans. We have hit the highly anticipated sequel to Inside Out. Arguably one of the best Pixar movies out there right now. That movie from 2015 was an instant classic. And when I think of a concept of what they could have possibly done with an Inside Out 2, there was no other way to go. Conceptually speaking, like the toys growing up with Andy, what if Andy grew up? What happens to those toys? Similarly, what happens once Riley starts to grow up? What happens to these emotions? How do they evolve as characters? Well, here we get to find out. Young Riley Anderson has just turned 13 years old, and by all accounts, your favorite emotions from the past movie have been running a successful operation. You have joy, you have sadness, you have anger, you have fear, you have disgust, and they're a great team. But once anxiety shows up, they aren't really sure how to feel. And as you see in the trailer, anxiety comes with a lot of emotional baggage, which I do admit is a great joke. Now, this comes to you from debuting director Kelsey Mann. This is his first feature-length movie. He did a couple shorts here and there, but here he is tackling a Pixar feature, his first feature. And my friend, you did a freaking great job with this movie. If you watching this right now were to sit there and tell me that Inside Out 2 is better than the original, it's a hard point to argue against. And at this point, like, I don't know. I've only seen Inside Out 2 once, and I want to go back to the theater again. Because number one, I loved this movie. And number two, I don't know. I don't know if it's on the same level as the original. I don't know if it's better than the original, which is a huge statement. But Inside Out 2 was damn good. Kicking things off, it might seem a bit tedious to say that the animation from a Pixar movie is breathtaking, but look at these images. Look at the trailer for this movie. Of course it's going to be colorful. Of course it's going to be vibrant. Whose studio's name do you see in front of this title? It's Pixar. They are known for their inventiveness. They are known for their creativity. And you want to talk about creative ideas? Inside Out 2 has got them. This almost feels to me, conceptually speaking, like the Toy Story 2 for a new generation. This does everything that a great sequel should be doing. It's taking all the amazing things that made the original so awesome, and they're evolving those ideas. And then they're introducing little tidbits in there that I dare not give away on camera right now because I've only seen the movie one time. But I was just so blown away by how beautiful this movie looked, by how emotionally poignant these ideas are. And most importantly, honestly, the biggest strength of Inside Out 2, the overall message that it has. Sure, these are messages that you've seen in other movies about making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. But the movie has such a mature way of delivering this message to everybody. And that's what makes Inside Out 2 such a great movie. It appeals to people of all ages. This is a perfect family summer movie, because it really does have something that everybody can enjoy. My theater this afternoon was jam-packed. There were kids in this theater who were so freaking excited. But then I had adults who were sitting on either side of me. I had adults sitting behind me. And I heard some waterworks going on around me. And I'm not going to lie, I felt those waterworks coming myself. Like, this is like, again, a movie about emotions. If it doesn't pull at your heartstrings, Pixar's not doing their job. Every single idea that it throws at the wall, it does everything sweet and funny and touching and embarrassing in some cases and nerve-wracking that you can do with an idea. It really does feel like a more matured, grown-up version of the first Inside Out movie. And that's really all you can ask for, isn't it? Our voice cast is marvelous once again. Amy Poehler as Joy has such an interesting arc in this, because all the other emotions feel like that she has all of the answers, and damn, I don't want to give away exactly the emotions that Joy is going through. But there's a certain line where they're at the back of Riley's mind, and it's just... As a 27-year-old man, that's where it really hits me. It's a whole concept about growing up and not feeling any joy anymore once you do grow up. Man, oh man. Sorry if it sounds like I'm being vague about this, but again, this movie just came out. I don't want to spoil it for anybody right now. But your whole voice cast is great here. Like I said, Amy Poehler is great. Phyllis Smith as Sadness is fantastic in this. Lewis Black returns as Anger. Anger was my favorite comedic character from the first movie. He is once again extremely hilarious. Conspicuously absent from this due to monetary disputes are Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling as Fear and Disgust respectively. And look, they got Tony Hale, and I forget the name of the girl they got to play Disgust in this. I think they did great, but part of me deep down really wishes acknowledge that the studio kind of got their acts together and paid Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling accordingly. And yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these new emotions, shall we? You have this really cute, short-statured emotion who's teal-colored. She's voiced by Edebiri. Her name is Envy. I think she does wonderful with it. There's a really bored emotion in there who goes by the name of Ennui, which I'm sure half of my colleagues on YouTube won't even refer to this bored purple emotion as ennui. But the voice actress they got there was really great. Paul Walter Hauser plays Embarrassment. He has a total of about maybe 10 lines of dialogue, give or take. No more than 10. I mean, he was like, oh, you feel so bad for Embarrassment. You want to give him a big old hug, don't you? You also want to give Anxiety a big hug, but I'm scared that I would break Anxiety in half because this is a little twig we're talking about. And I'm just going to say it, as someone who suffers from anxiety myself, not to get too personal here, I think Pixar nailed the tone just right. Because seeing her in the trailer, I was very scared that they were going to villainize anxiety. And they don't really do that. I dare not give away what they say about anxiety and the overall message of anxiety and how it relates to growing up, but it's freaking genius. I don't know why I didn't trust Pixar. I mean, this studio is a lot of things. They're not idiots, though. They will treat you with respect as an audience member. And I'm not gonna lie, Maya Hawke as Anxiety might have stolen the entire movie. This is great voice casting here. You do have loads of great callbacks to the original Inside Out. You do have loads of new ideas that are being presented. It really does feel like this whole idea is evolving with Riley as she's getting older. She's got braces now. Her friendships are starting to fracture a little because of the emotions who are controlling her in headquarters. And honestly, guys, Inside Out 2 is brilliant. I don't want to sit here and say that this is my favorite Pixar movie since the original Inside Out came out, which is almost a decade ago. Man, do I feel old. But it's entirely possible that this just might be the best Pixar movie to come out in a while. I don't know if I can hold it in the same conversation as Incredibles 2. I don't know if I can hold it in the same conversation as Soul just yet, but this movie is certainly up there with the best of them. Ingenious creative writing, phenomenal voice casting. This is a movie that will play to every single facet of your emotions. And I think it's a perfect summer movie that anybody of all ages can enjoy. I only can encourage you guys to go and check this out in the movie theater, because that's the only way that we're going to get more goodness from Pixar out of the movie theater, is if people go to see it. And if Inside Out 2 makes a lot of money, please don't download this thing. Don't torrent it. Go support it in movie theaters. Clearly, this movie does have my stamp of approval. My only real nitpick that I have against Inside Out is that I do feel like the first act is a bit slower. It does take a little bit for the movie to really kick into another gear. Maybe a little bit longer than I would have liked personally. And this is also just a little bit of a detail-oriented thing from me personally. And this is coming from someone who just rewatched the original Inside Out in preparation for this. But the view that you get from headquarters at the end of the original Inside Out, that's not where we're left off. And I get it, years have passed since the first Inside Out, so things might have changed inside Riley's head. And I get that, but to me, it just kind of felt a little bit weird. They didn't explain to me how her core memories pretty much looked like they were intact from the beginning of the first movie. I don't know, that just felt a little weird to me. That's just a little detail thing. Besides that, Inside Out 2 is a phenomenal movie that you would be sad if you missed in theaters. Which if you don't get a chance to see it this summer, if you wait until streaming, you're probably going to be left like sadness on a big gigantic rain cloud just floating through nothingness. I'm going to give Inside Out 2 a solid A. That is a strong recommend A as well. In case you haven't guessed, guys, I mean, I wanted to love this movie, and I absolutely did. Have you guys seen Inside Out 2 yet? Let me know what you thought in the comments, and let me know what your favorite Pixar movie is. If you like discussing all things geeky, all things in the Disney realm, and all new general things in the world of cinema, this is a great channel and community to become a part of. So do consider subscribing today if you're a new viewer. Tap on that thumbs up as well. Guys, y'all are the best. Look out for more videos very soon as we keep trucking along this summer season. We got A Quiet Place Day 1 coming out in 2 weeks. Yeah, the blockbuster hits just keep coming. It's a never-ending train over here of just great discussion and movie discussion and fun to be had. And you guys are all invited to join in. Y'all are the best, guys. Thank you again for your support. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.